Map 3, July 2nd, 1863. This is the morning of the second day of the battle. When we left off, the Union troops had been pushed through the town of Gettysburg, and they had retreated to the heights of Cemetery and Culp's Hill. General Lee had ordered General Ewell, if possible, to push the Union troops off Cemetery and Culp's Hill. Ewell froze. We'll talk about why in class later. What you need to know about that is what that allowed was it allowed the Union troops to dig in on those hills, fortify their position, and now Lee either has to attack them or he has to pull back and force the Union Army to chase him. So let's start taking some notes over the start of the second day. First, you have Longstreet is coming up from the Cashtown Road off to the northwest. A.P. Hill's men are in place. Rhodes' men are in the town of Gettysburg, fortifying their position. And you have Early, who is part of Ewell's corps. He's at the base of Culp's Hill. And then you have Johnson over there by Spangler Spring. I also want you to position the 20th Maine. So I'm going to need you to wait until the next slide to position them. So here's what you need to make sure you've drawn. The fishhook, that is the Union Army, and the 20th Maine. Wait for the next slide. For the Confederates, you need Early, Hill, Heath, Pender, Rhodes, and Johnson. We'll get to Longstreet later. All right, at the bottom there on the Taneytown Road, I want you to put Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain and the 20th Maine. Don't forget to label your legend, blue for Union, red for Confederate. Here we go. Union troops arrived from the south all night. Remember, Buford was the cavalry. He was out in front. John Reynolds in the 1st Corps and Howard in the 11th Corps, they were the first part of the Union Army to get there. All in all, the Union Army is going to send about 80,000 men into Gettysburg. So the Union troops are arriving, and they are strengthening the Union positions on Culp's Hill, Cemetery Hill, and Cemetery Ridge. Jeb Stuart, Lee's cavalry officer, the eyes of Lee's army, has still not reported to General Lee. So Lee doesn't know the terrain, he doesn't know the roads, or the strength of the Union Army in front of him, and that's going to have really significant consequences. Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain and the 20th Maine have received 120 mutineers. These are men who have decided they are done fighting, they don't want to fight anymore. Chamberlain talks to them. And he says, you know what, I'd really appreciate if you fought alongside of me. I think we're part of a very good cause here. I'm not going to shoot you if you choose not to fight or if you disobey, but I could really use you because I think there's a big battle coming up. Because of his speech, 114 of the 120 men who had previously decided they were done with the war, they choose to fight alongside Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain and the 20th Maine.